Water is one of the biggest enemies of the electronics on a truck. Just think about it. The electricity has to flow over wires and through connections that are made out of metal. Water corrodes metal and causes it to literally break apart. That destroys the connection and causes all sorts of things to fail. Okay, so you already knew that. But what you may not know is how water gets into the system and how it travels from place to place. When you think of the cables on a truck, you probably think of them as all surrounded by insulation made of either plastic or rubber. The insulation keeps the metal wire from rubbing against other wires and metal parts, which would cause a short. It also keeps out water, which causes corrosion. So the insulation is a good thing, right? Well, sure it is. But the very insulation that protects the wire from water also creates an engine that pulls water along the length of the wire from the outside of the truck where it gets splashed and rained on all the way to the components inside the truck, the ones that are supposed to be protected from the storm. This area right here, where the insulation and the wire meet, is never quite the perfect fit we would like it to be. There's always some little bit of microscopic space in there between the wire and the insulation. It's bad enough on solid core wire like this. But just think how much there is on a multi-strand wire like this. There's not only space between the wire and the insulation, there's space between the wire and the wire. When water gets into this space, two different forces begin to work on it. There is surface tension caused by the cohesion within the water and adhesion between the water and the sides of the space. If the space is small enough, which it is here, these two forces work together to create a capillary action. This capillary action literally pulls the water along the length of the wire. In our labs at Grody, we've done what we call SaltCreep experiments, where we submerge one end of an insulated wire into a beaker of salt water. Within just 24 hours, this capillary action pulls the salt water along the entire length of the wire, 20 feet or more. By the next day, we find salt crystals beginning to form on the far end of the wire. Imagine what this does to the connector on a marker lamp or any other electrical appliance. This is why it's so important to seal all the connections on a truck against water intrusion. What's more, it's not just water that we're dealing with. Water combines with road salt, magnesium chloride, washing compounds, and other really nasty chemicals to produce a corrosive liquid that can eat through most metals with amazing speed. Take a look at the spade connections on this lamp base. There used to be 2 of them. And believe it or not, this was once a 7-way trailer connector. Oh, and one last important point. Don't ever use the pointed tip of a circuit tester to puncture the insulation on a wire. It may be expedient, but it leaves an opening in the insulation that can become an entry point for moisture. As you continue to explore the know-how videos provided by Grody, you'll find many suggestions for how to avoid water penetration in your truck and trailer harness system.